How do you do? Squeaky chair. Alright, this is not necessarily a review, you guys, as much as just my thoughts on the Marmotte, which is actually French, I believe, because Marmotte should only have one T, and it actually means prairie dog. So that's kind of funky. We got a prairie dog frame. I didn't know prairie dogs could fly, but then again, neither can chameleons. So anyway, yeah, this is just kind of my, not really a review, like I said, it's just kind of my thoughts going through this thing as I set it up and eyeball it up. I have two of them. Whenever I build freestyle frames, I always build two, so that I always take two with me, so when I'm out in the field, if one isn't working, I crash one, something goes wrong, I can grab the other one and have the exact same setup and just keep right on flowing. That's just the way I do things. So anyway, I'm admittedly was not a big fan of the original chameleon. I thought it was a bit over engineered and a bit much, and kind of went back and forth with Chris on that. At the same time, at that time, I had just made my skadoosh frames, so I wasn't really too interested in the chameleon. But we went back and forth. People were calling me cloners because I made this frame. I cloned the chameleon and made it out of carbon fiber, even though Chris verified that this was a completely different, totally different idea and setup than his chameleon. So I never released this frame because I just didn't want to freaking hear it. I did send some to my, anyway, that's a whole nother story. But Chris ended up sending me a chameleon, and I built it out and flew it once, and I actually did a video on my whole thing of it, and I didn't really care for it that much, but I didn't release the video because at the end, even though my thoughts were, it was over-engineered, and it actually came out way heavier than I like. I like my frames, when they're totally built out, to be between 600, around 620 is about my midpoint, so somewhere around between 6 and 640. It doesn't really matter as much to the shape of the frame as the weight when it's completely built out for my feel when I throw it up over trees and stuff like that in my freestyle. But anyway, I built that chameleon all the way out, and I actually ended up, like I said, I test flew it once, and then I gave it away to a young man that was a quadriplegic in a wheelchair, and hopefully he's enjoying that, and it's getting him out of the wheelchair for, you know, 5 minutes at a time and giving him some freedom. But anyway, so let's get on to this guy here. Now, obviously, there is a ton of engineering and thought that went into this frame to get all these tight tolerances and everything together. And my initial thoughts are this frame is cool as fuck. We've got the micro cam going on there with this titanium. When I saw this this carbon is something that just, there's nothing else out there like it. And the way this camera mounts up and this whole front end slides up and down is really cool. This whole front end adjusts on these sliders right here. So I'm looking forward to building this thing out. I'm waiting for some other components on here because I'm going to run the Brain Radix little board that they just came out with in here. Brain Radix is my go-to board. But this thing looks freaking awesome. My go-to badass frame that I have bashed the shit out of, and they are tough as nails, is my QAVR Slammed. So this guy here has just a little bit different motor pattern, and it's just a little bit bigger there, you can see. So it'll be interesting to see how it handles in the air. This isn't really going to make too much of a difference in the handling. It's just going to be the weight distribution. And the arms being a bit longer is cool. That means you can run, you know, should be able to easily run 5 1-props on there if you want to, or if I want to. But y'all can do whatever the fuck you want to do. I don't give a fuck. Really cool the way it's all set up and goes together. I like that they have these mounts in the back to protect the antenna, and it comes with the TBS little guy in there, so you can screw your little TBS mount in there, or it comes with this cool thing right here that passes the antenna through, so it's kind of soft mounted in there so your antennas don't break off on the back. It's got a couple of plastic grommets that go on either side of it there. Oh, it comes with a nice instruction sheet on how to put it together too, which is really freaking awesome. So that's nice, makes things nice and easy. It's very self-explanatory, pretty easy to follow. Now, Painless 360, if you don't have if you're not already a subscriber or whatever to Painless 360, I suggest you do, because the guy has a ton of good information. Between him, Joshua Bardwell, back in the day, JC from Project Blue Falcon. Anyway, Painless 360 had put one of these frames together, so you can see how the whole frame goes together. I believe I know Joe Stan did a whole, Joe Stan FPV did a whole build video on one of these, and I heard Joshua Bardwell mention that he's going to do a review on it. So if you want all the tech specs and all that great stuff, go check out one of those guys. Has the mounting patterns for either the full-size board or a 20x20 board, and I'm waiting for the 20x20. Got the TBS mount in there. It comes with the little dog bones for a landing pad, which I don't use. I don't know why. I don't land my quadcopter like this. I come in like this, so I prefer using the little skid plates on there. I never use these little foamy things. It even comes with a little freaking file to knock your edges down where your antennas might come through. I always knock the edges down where my battery straps are so that it doesn't cut the straps. And basically, if you do this, your battery straps will basically last the life. You know, they won't break for a long time. One thing I do want to why do all you guys, it isn't just Armatan, it's like all the top frame makers, they only send you one battery strap. There's 2 battery strap slots here, and we have the GoPro on there. So just send 3 battery straps. I mean, is it gonna kill you? So I'll probably just use this for the GoPro. Another thing I like to do is, when I get one of these frames, of course, is I put it all together and then I mock everything up, kind of where I'm going to put everything and check it all out. I'm going to be running this. Let's check something else out. So anyway, the quality of this thing, of course, Armatan is known for its toughness and its quality, and they are right on the money with this guy for sure. This titanium cage is freaking awesome. Like I said, this one's not all over engineered and a ton of hardware up front. That was my main thing with the Chameleon, was all that hardware up on there. Like, you know, some of it was like pretty proprietary, so like if you lost a screw or one of those little side pieces or something, I'm sure that you could get another one from them, but what a pain in the butt, you know what I mean? But yeah, this little guy looks freaking awesome. Let's give her an eyeball on weight and such here. So I am looking forward to building this guy out. Let's just get a rough idea of what's going on. I don't know if you guys can see the numbers on the scale there. So I'll read everything out to you. It is, the frame itself is coming in at 115. Let's add the motors. My go-to motors are these Brother Hobby 2207 Chameleon motors here. Chameleon colored motors. 2207, 2450, or 2400 kV, I'm sorry. Or are they 2450? 2400. So 4 motors, and I'll be using the Brain Radix Little, so that's not going to have much weight to it, so I'm going to leave all the boxes and everything on here to kind of make up for, you know, this will have the full length wire on it, all the screws in there, and the prop nut, and then the boxes will kind of make up for the board. So we got that. That's at 281. Add this here battery. Now we're at 459. And then a GoPro, which brings us to 529. A couple battery straps, 533. I'll be using this Unify Evo. So now we're at 548. So that right there gives me a pretty good guesstimate that I'll be able to get around my 600 to 620 gram range that I like a lot. So that is really freaking cool. And that's that. It also comes with your, you know, your battery mat and a couple of Marmotte stickers. Why, oh why don't you guys just go ahead and give us 3 battery straps to fit every slot so we can strap on our GoPro and our batteries without having to search around for more battery straps. I mean, luckily I've been in the hobby for a while. I got tons of battery straps. It's not a problem for me. It also comes with this little antenna mount here for, I guess this is going to be for the for your radio link antenna that goes right under here, but it's a little single channel thing. So I don't know, is that for a spectrum with the little satellite? Well, I think everybody pretty much uses diversity. I don't think I'll be using that because I'll be using Crossfire and, you know, mounting it up something like I do here. I prefer the stock Crossfire antennas to the Immortal T's because once you put them on a zippy tie and some heat shrink around them, they give, and I've never chopped one up in the props because they're wiggly. They're waggly. So there's that. That should get us in our target weight, which is really cool. What else do I have here that I was gonna talk? Like I said, this is just my initial thoughts off the top of my head. So nothing super tech here. Battery straps. Oh, I also really dig the way they put the antenna mount in here. A lot of times when I use a TBS, they don't always, a lot of frames don't have the TBS mount. A lot of frames don't even think about where you're going to mount it, and you got to come up with something. But Marmotte, since day one, has kind of done that, which is really cool. And then if you have a frame that's too thick, you can never bottom the antenna out correctly on your pigtail, but this one fits in there just nice and perfect. And it's going to be all tucked away in there with this nice axie antenna from Lumineer, which are super tough, and it's going to be super protected, and it should work out freaking fantastic. The element in these is actually like at this last top 2/3 here, so none of it's really going to be blocked by these stands. So once you're flying, you're going to be up here, and your radiation pattern should be fantastic. So I really like how that's done and tucked away in there nice and tight like that. And then we put the top on there, and it makes a really, really nice little package. The tolerances on this guy are freaking right on the money. Everything fits in there nice and snug, which is very cool. Well, of course, I can't get it to pop down in there while I'm on camera. Is it hitting on that antenna? It is. It's hitting on that antenna. So that's why I like to mock everything up, you guys. But that's okay, because what I can do is flip this little guy over, and then it'll be down towards the bottom. Alright, so there's that. So what I did was flip that little bracket over in there, if you guys can see, which will lower this antenna down in the frame. Now we're going to have to, we can't just slip it in there now. We're going to have to do it in 2 pieces like so. Yeah, see, now it's down in there. So note, if you're going to do this, you're going to want to mount that little TBS bracket upside down so it lowers it in the frame, because if you put it up, this axis antenna will not clear to get the little top on. See, that's why I mock things up before I build it out. So I can discover things like that. And actually I like that a little better, because now it's really tucked in there and protected, and it's actually now protruding out a little further away from this aluminum standoff lobe back there. So it should be even better and even more in the clear. That is sweet. The other thing I liked about this is it has a longer deck than some of the older Chameleon, and what were those other ones that they made? The TI and the Rooster, I believe. Yeah. So it will fit these nice big longer batteries real nice with the GoPro in there, and make a nice tight neat little package. So anyway, I think I've babbled about this long enough. That's my initial thoughts on this guy. Lifetime warranty, freaking out of this world carbon fiber. It is just absolutely beautiful. There's nothing like it on the market. Tough as freaking nails. Of course, it has the lifetime warranty, so you know, how can you go wrong with that? Freaking awesome. They thought of like everything for mounting, for zippy ties, for, you know, the whole 9 yards on here. I got no complaints so far. Looking forward to getting this thing in the air. Thank you guys for watching, and remember, do whatever the fuck you want to do. Peace.